And good afternoon to you, Johnny, and good afternoon to the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, those here at home and those, of course, in the diaspora all over the world. And welcome once again to our second edition of Ask the Prime Minister, Parliamentary Question Time, with Prime Minister Dr. the Honorable Ralph E. Gonsalves. The last time we were here, there were a number of written questions, and we got calls where we had a number of oral questions. I believe this time around, the Prime Minister will let you know that there are some written questions and who they're from, as I take this time to introduce the Honourable Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Dr. the Honourable Ralph E. Gonsalves.
Thank you very much, Hans, and good evening to the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and welcome to Parliamentary Question Time, Ask the Prime Minister. First, I think there was a little confusion because we started on Wednesday last week. Persons were looking forward to it last night. I know when I went down to Kittel's, they were saying, well, we're going to listen to you tonight. That's when I went there yesterday. I told them we did it yesterday because I was leaving on the Thursday night and I wanted to start the program that week. And I really don't want to have a clash with Jomo, who is on Wednesday night on another radio station. I think I'm permitted to call it WFM. So I just want to make this point.
All right.
Thank you.
I think you'll have to. So we are now going to open the phone lines. As I said, persons were calling a long time ago. So you can now give your call 457-2705. Or if you're using Magic Jack, 1516-350-9891. And I think we would have some calls coming in very soon indeed, as they were calling way before we opened the lines. I think we have okay. We will take as soon as they're coming. So once again, the number 457-2705, and we have a call coming through. Seemed like we lost that one. It's there? We've lost it. Yes, so 457-2705 or Magic Jack 1516-350-9891. Prime Minister, we do have a call.
Sure.
So let's go through. Good afternoon. Or good evening, sorry.
Hello? Hello?
Good night.
Good night.
Mr. William, good night, Prime Minister.
Good night, my sister.
I have a serious problem, and I don't know if you will be able to help me with it.
Tell me.
Now, I have a piece of land, and my neighbor have a big hack pen by the land. He even taking piece of my land to build the pen, and all the water for years, he let it go in my land. Even his water from his pipe house running down in my land.
Yes.
Now I have a crop of planting, which I borrow money to work it up, because this is three set of crop now he destroy for me with the half pen.
Where you live in?
North Union.
Have you spoken to the person?
Several times help come there.
The public health came?
Yes, and I have to bring in surveyor. If sometime the help come back, I go to human rights and they send a health officer there. Well, the health officer said to us that he will get back to us, and up to now we don't get no response.
All right.
We went, Mr. Dial sent me to planning. It takes 2 years before planning come out. When planning do come, the man that they send, he fight with a lady above with one pig in the pen, and he fight and the woman get rid of the one pig, and he leave the bigger picture to fight with and deal with that woman. Now when the health officer came...
Which part of Union you are?
North Union.
Where exactly?
Right by Godfrey Haywood.
Near Godfrey Haywood.
Yes.
Okay. Now, well, there are two things here. The people in public health, they have the authority to close him down if he is a nuisance. And you also have a right to go to a lawyer to get an injunction for him to dismantle it. But I don't see why you need to go and spend money on a lawyer when the public health and the planning authorities can act. So that I will tomorrow raise this question with those two authorities to ask them. I don't think Mr. Doyle is there anymore. So
no, Mr. Doyle is not there.
It's quite a long time.
Yes, and my husband spoke to Mr. Borgin when he was up by Lowman, and he said that he must send in a letter to him. Well, the letter went to him. Well, I don't get no response from him yet.
Well, Clayton was out. I think he came in back tonight. He was away doing something for me. But I will follow up on this for you,
yes,
my dear sister.
I go all out. I speak to Mr. Kane.
Well, clearly you have made the wrongs. You have gone to public health more than one time. You have gone to planning. You even took a surveyor. You even tried to get the human rights people to do something for you. But I mean, I suspect the human rights people, because if they have to take it to court, it will require a lot of legal work. And to be fair to them, they're not in the business of doing private legal work like that. They'll try to direct, like how they direct you to public health again, or make a call for you. But I will follow through on this and find out what is happening, my dear sister. I could imagine how terrible it is.
Yes, because the planting them, they burning out.
It's not only the planting; it must be the smell.
The smell, we can sometimes, but especially when you see rain come.
Yeah.
Comrade, the scent, we can't even open the kitchen door.
But you couldn't. I mean, I will talk to them, but you can't ask. The gentleman goes to church. Why don't go and talk to his pastor in the community?
He don't go to church again, and the things that he works with health.
He works with health?
Yes.
Interesting. All right. Thank you very much.
Yes, Comrade.
All right, then.
Thank you, caller. I believe we have another call in line. Good night.
Yeah, good night.
Good night.
I was listening to the Prime Minister a while ago, and what I want to ask is that how many murders we had for this year?
We had
Minister of National Security.
35, 36.
36. Is it that the highest for 1 year?
Yes, that is the highest for 1 year.
That's the highest for 1 year. And you were quoting a figure that you said you spend and plan against crime.
Yes.
Yeah, so would you consider that money well spent?
I consider
how much did you quote for
$1.5 million? I consider
$1.5 million.
I consider the money very well spent. Generally speaking, if you heard Assistant Commissioner of Police Frankie Joseph, you would have heard him about 3 or so weeks ago talking about the general decline in crime, but there's an upward spiral for murders. And if you look at the murders, the bulk of the murders are involving firearm and seem to be related to the cocaine trade. And there's a particular problem which arose during the year with a cocaine drop, which two different sets of groups, I wouldn't say gangs because they don't seem to have congealed or coalesced into gangs or such, but groups of people who had interest in this matter, and they were fighting one another about it. They were fighting one another over greed. And but we have been doing several things to maintain the peace. We have been putting more boots on the ground, more police on the ground. In fact, in the estimates coming up, I even have more police, more vehicles just in the last 3 months alone. Spent over $800,000 on vehicles.
Yeah.
Yes, my brother.
Something I would like to ask again is that I have noticed that in a particular district there, where a lot of the murder had occurred, right? They had gone unserved. Why no shuffling had been done?
No.
Like shuffling of the police who control those districts.
No,
they shuffle it around to see if we would get. If they have just been lazy, or if we can get better results.
No. Look, one of the things is this: is that you may have a clear idea as to who perpetrated a particular killing, but you have to have the admissible evidence to go at them. And the police are hard at work seeking to gather the evidence. And we have a lot more patrols in the particular area you are talking about. As you probably are aware, we have put in the Fountain area, we have put a police post. And we have now put one in the Glen area. We have done in the area of Brighton Prospect, there were, well, according to what the police told me, 2 persons, one of them apparently who had recently come out of jail, were doing a lot of break-ins and in some cases rapes. And the police have been on their case, and by that I mean lots of patrols, lots of searches in homes which are believed to possibly to be involved with suspect activity. So the police have been very active, I tell you, my brother. I get the reports every single morning as to what is taking place, and I have meetings frequently with the Commissioner of Police and the top brass, talk to them on an ongoing basis, and we do a lot of training of the people in the major crimes unit, including those which you would call traditionally in CID, and we're doing a lot of work to try and maintain the peace and to find these culprits.
Yeah, but I'm not satisfied with that 1.5 million the way it's spent, and see that amount of crime we're still having.
No. But my brother, hold on.
They're not seeing transfer done. I'm wondering if it's because these policemen own the government. I'm not satisfied. Transfer need to do.
Transfer,
shake up.
But they're all
shake up. People need to work.
My brother. Let's deal with the 2 points which you have raised. You know, we have now 27 police youth clubs, and we have close to 20 pan sides. Because the number which I give you is an aggregate number, not expenditure in 1 year.
Okay.
And I don't, if you look at the press reports, I don't think you're going to find many persons who are involved in police youth clubs and pan against crime inside of criminal activities. You go to the magistrate court and you see the same thing which you talk about, trying to get people into disciplined organizations. When I arrived in office, you had less than 100 persons, my brother, in the cadet corps. Now you have 1,200, including 200 which are part of the Marine Wing. They work with the Coast Guard. So we're seeking to build these organizations and to get young people involved in them. And crime is a matter which all of us have to fight. In relation to the second matter about transferring, the Commissioner of Police do transfer people, but this management this is a matter for the management of the police. I will discuss several different things with him and to move this or that individual to strengthen one area against another. But the detailed management, my brother, is the the detailed management has to be left to the hierarchy of the police force. I can't be Prime Minister and manage the police force. Like you, I will make suggestions where I would see things. Because, look, I've had a lot of experience in this matter. It's a long time I've been involved in the law and involved in studying about crime and the causes of crimes and so on and so forth. But this extent of murders, obviously it's too high, and I outlined what was the particular trigger. One of the difficulties is that we have open borders, in the sense that we have a coast guard, but we have so many places that people can enter, and we're living in a dangerous neighborhood. Colombia is just down the road, Venezuela, Colombia, from which the cocaine will come, the transit through Trinidad, and then we have the fast boats and so on and so forth. And we have to be on the ball all the time. But if, we have, over the period, we have saved some people from being severely injured because of the intelligence which we have had. But there's some times in which you're just not able beforehand to head off something, and when the killing is done, it takes, in these more organized killings, it takes a little more time for the police to get all the intelligence work together. I know, for instance, they got a breakthrough with some firearms, and they having those tested at the moment overseas. We're awaiting the results, which would lead us to tell us whether that particular firearm was involved in more than one shooting and so on and so forth. Okay, my brother?
Oh, okay then. All right. Anyway, have a good night. Yeah.
God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you, caller. And we do have another caller. Good night.
Hey, good night, comrade.
Fine. Good night.
I just want to find out, what plans do you have for the facility where you house currently the persons with mental problems? When they go back to their home, what plans do you have for that building?
Well, I tell you this, different ministers and permanent secretaries are beginning to line up as to what they want it for. Some of them are talking about they want it for to do processing for something for agriculture. Some want it for some kind of other training establishment. You who call in there, if I know your voice properly, you want it temporarily for the female prison?
No.
Oh.
I'm thinking of the juvenile center.
That's well, you see, there is a center up at, and which I don't know when last you went up to Liberty Lodge, or if you're familiar with the plans, which we are to restore, renovate, expand, part of the justice program, the juvenile justice program. But clearly, I mean, I think you'd be right to say that there are other it could be a place where youths can also go. Because not only we would need to have space probably for more than what we have up at Liberty Lodge.
I consider up there as more suitable because Liberty Lodge is in the community.
Yeah.
And if you have persons up there...
Well, you don't have to... I mean, Liberty Lodge is being upgraded. And there's a good system. Up there is in the community too, you know. It's only that it is... There's hardly any way far from one another, as you know. I mean, it's in Orange Hill. It is through the old Orange Hill village. Is not there anymore. That it's closer to Raboka than what it used to be in the old days.
Right.
But all of these ideas would contend. I mean, I am sure that Minister Stevenson would love what you're saying there. Hans is smiling because he knows already that before people are ready to move out, their ministers and permanent secretaries are already lining up on Jocelyn and telling me what they want it for.
The second thing, though, is I greatly admire the work done on the road program, generally speaking, because I've gone from the Leeward side to the Windward side. But I was just wondering if we have any more money left back that we could have cut some of those overhang trees, particularly on the windward side.
Yes.
Lots of trees hanging from one side of the road to the other.
Yes, but they should be doing in the cleaning. The senior road supervisors should be addressing that.
Right.
But I will ask them about this.
Because the job, I think they have jobs to come out.
They have jobs to come out.
Right. So if we get a couple trucks with a couple guys to cut them, maybe in conjunction with Vinlek, because some of them touching Vinlek wire.
Yes. Now, But what in the new year I want to do is to use, the Argyle International Airport will provide a legacy in respect of facilities, materials, personnel for a very advanced road program, particularly secondary roads and feeder roads, because many of our feeder roads and secondary roads have deteriorated badly because of the many storms which we have had. By the end of this year, we should have a significant number of the heavy-duty equipment, bulldozers and the like, to help to clear some places and maybe to put in throw some rubber material, roll it in until in some of the feeder roads now. And then when we finish the paving about May or so next year of the runway, we have an asphalt plant, we have a concrete batching plant, and we have a fantastic stone crusher with 5 different types of stones. You notice the swiftness with which those facilities were used to do the bypass?
Very.
Huh?
Very, very.
To do the bypass at Argyle, the 500 feet, 3/4. The main road had collapsed on Saturday. On Sunday they cut the bypass. On Monday they lay material, and on Tuesday night it's done.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic thing.
Very. If we have money, it would have been nice if we have some permanent workers, like daily workers, maintaining the highway, and you send the gang into the village road and the feeder road and so forth.
Well, we need. The program has to be properly devised with the equipment and materials. Otherwise, you'll throw away money. It has to be done. And we have been that way already, and we have the skill. We know how to organize it and so on and so forth.
Okay.
All right?
All right.
Thanks.
Thanks. Have a good night, man.
Thank you, caller. We have another call online. Good night.
Good evening, Mr. Prime Minister. Good evening, Mr. King.
Yes.
Good evening.
Question for the Prime Minister. Okay, Mr. Prime Minister, the claim from your government is that you have reduced indigents by more than 20%. Is that correct?
In fact, we have reduced indigents from 25.7% to 2.9%. So that if you're talking percentage is much more than 20%, clearly. One fifth of 26, 1/5 is 20%, 1/5 of 25.7% would have been 5-point-something%. So it would have been reduced to 19-point-something%. Whereas in fact, that's what it has been reduced to 2.9%.
Okay, Mr. Prime Minister. The way I understand indigents, the definition I understand of indigents, also aka food poverty line, it's basically the minimum expenditure required to maintain a good, healthy life of an individual. Okay, and there's a price for that. It's when they did the assessment, it was $2,446 per year, $6.70 per day per adult. My question to you, Mr. Prime Minister, between 2001 to 2008, when the assessment was done, what have your government done to take over 20,000 Vincentians from off the indigent line?
Okay. Well, let us begin. First of all, we have made sure that specific targeted measures covering economics, social welfare, education, and the like. You take in education, the opening up of education has added considerably to the earning capacity of families. And we need to look at the families, not just an individual. We have to look at families. We have put in place support systems for those students. Public assistance has increased considerably. We have dealt with the housing situation in many respects. And then we have had job creation until the crisis hit us, and then we are now picking back up again. So there are a series of targeted strategic interventions to the YES program, and now the SET program. So we have the home help for the elderly. There's a multiplicity of these programs which have simply contributed to reducing indigence and dirt poor poverty. The children, for instance, from all homes, poor and not so poor, with their school feeding program in all the primary schools, you know that there's a meal given to each child who wants to be on the program. In the countryside, is 50 cents a day, and when the children don't have the 50 cents, they get the meal free. We have put the measures in place to equip the places with stoves and fridges and fix up the kitchens. And if you go and see their balanced meals, which are given to these children in the city, I think is $1 something. How much you paid, Hans?
$20 a month.
$20 a month you spent for your one child.
One child, $20.
So that was $1 a day.
Essentially, yes.
$1 a day. In the countryside, I know it's 50 cents a day. There may be some places 75. So I'm talking the general working of the economy, plus, of course, the targeted measures, which I've just outlined.
Okay, Mr. Prime Minister?
Yes, my brother.
Yes, okay. I hear you said education. The point is that somebody, in my understanding, unless they get this $6.70 to spend to buy food, in other words, they could be educated, and if they don't have the money, they still considered to be living in poverty.
Yeah,
if they don't have this money.
But the point I want to make to you, there are children whom we send to school now. You see, when you're looking at indigence, you're not just looking at an individual, you're looking at the family. And you speak as a person who is informed. You look at the family. Now, if a child is going to school, secondary school, you give them the opportunity to get a secondary education. You give them an opportunity to get a skill if they go to the technical college. And during the time when they're at school, you provide transportation which is subsidized, or you provide public assistance, $200 a month. Now, this is, for that individual child, this is a significant assistance which would be brought to bear inside of the family. So, and then when that child gets the CXCs, the opportunity is open for them to get a job. Many of them do. Some, of course, do not. And this is it. We use these practical measures in a very straightforward manner.
Okay, Mr. Prime Minister. Prior to this, the 2008 assessment,
yes.
The one before that was, what was it, 1996?
97.
So between 1996 and 2001, we're looking at about 4 or 5 years.
Yes.
We had no data for that time as to whether or not the NDP government had reduced the reduced poverty from the 1996 report. In other words, in 2001. So my question to you is,
no, but
why
you may not, you didn't have another poverty survey, but you will have other kinds of indicators. I would want you to tell me, and I hope we are not getting into a situation where you want to make the case that between the period 1997, 96, 97, and 2001 when we arrived in office. In that 4-year period, the NDP had cut the poverty significantly, because you'll have to convince a very skeptical public about that, because the evidence is just not available.
What I want to ask, Mrs. Prime Minister, why would you, since it is the 25% is a 1996 figure, why are you holding claim to this, to say that you reduce it by when you didn't know what the figure was?
No, but
in 2001.
I've always said that from 1996, 97, when the figure was such and such, and we have reduced it to this number in 2008. If you look in 1995, you had in the question, and if you look at the FAO reports, you will see that the question of lack of food, malnutrition, insufficient nutrition, affected 20% of the population. When by 2012, the FAO found that it was about 3.5% or thereabouts. So that there are a number of indicators which point to particular conclusions. You know, what I want us to do is to see how we can focus on those measures generally in the workings of the economy, and what I call targeted strategic interventions, to be able to see in what ways we can lift people's condition out of poverty, out of vulnerability, and out of indigence. In the agricultural sector, we have done a remarkable amount of work in trying to shore up the farming community in a circumstance where the bottom of bananas fell out and started to fall out, really, before we came to office, because of the alteration in the banana regime, and this is a matter completely across the board in the Caribbean. And we had to take a number of very important measures to try and keep household income stable.
Okay, Mr. Prime Minister, could I ask the last question?
Yes,
please?
my brother.
If you were to be invited to go on the NDP New Times program with a moderator like, say, Jerry George, would you accept the invitation?
I will not, because Jerry George, in my view, is not an independent journalist, but an NDP propagandist. Okay, I may be wrong, but I'm telling you that.
Would you accept with somebody else as the moderator?
Well, you will need to tell me who is the moderator, because if I had an experience, and I'm not giving an opinion. I had an experience once with Jerry George on television in relation to Liat. And I had to ask him, I say, do you have me here to interview, or you want me to be a backdrop for you to say what you have read on Liat? Because, and his postings, you read his postings and what he says. He's clear that politically he would wish to see the back of the ULP government. Why should I subject myself to an interview by an NDP partisan? I can reach the public and give them my views than to subject myself to that. I wouldn't do that. I'm telling you.
Yeah, okay, I understand, but in the same breath, some of us out there could say, well, if your argument is, if we were to follow your line of argument, then Hans King shouldn't be the host of this program.
Not at all. In fact, if you follow, Hans King is the press secretary to the Prime Minister. This is a program which is not Ralph Gonsalves, political leader.
Yeah, but
of the
I'm
ULP.
talking about the bias part of it.
No.
Yeah, okay.
You, for instance, you came with a particular perspective, and I answered you.
Yeah, okay.
And we had a good dialogue.
Yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
thanks, Mr. Prime Minister.
God bless you, my brother.
Okay.
Thank you. And I hope the caller is now convinced we don't screen calls here, as he taught the last time. So thank you for your call. We go to the lines. We have another caller. Good night. You are on Ask the Prime Minister, Parliamentary Question Time.
Hello?
Yes, hello.
Yes, good night.
Yeah.
Yes, my brother.
Yes, good night. This is the Prime Minister.
Yes.
Yeah, you hearing me?
I'm hearing you, my brother.
Yeah. I want to talk to you, but not on the air.
Well,
I want to talk to you off the air.
Well, you wouldn't be able to do that now. You wouldn't be able to do that now, my brother. If you want, let me say this to you. Hold on. Call my office number tomorrow. 456-1703. You have a pen there? Write this down.
No, I call him many.
I am asking you. Just listen to me now.
Yeah.
Have you ever called this number 456-1703? 456-1703 and ask for one of my secretaries, either Angie or Ruth Ann, and tell them that you had called in on this program and I ask you to get me when you call.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah. But I call him many times when I get
my brother.
Yeah.
If you call me and I'm inside of a meeting, a cabinet meeting, do you expect me to leave the cabinet meeting to come to you? I just ask you to call this and explain to Angie or Rutan what's the situation.
You could give me a cell number.
No, I can't give you my cell number. I'm giving you my office number. I'm giving you my office number, and I'm giving you 2 persons to get there, to get to me. Okay?
Thank you, caller.
God bless you.
All right. I think we have another caller. Good night.
Hello, good night.
Good night.
Good night, Pierre.
Good night, my sister.
God bless.
Thank you.
I am calling in relation to a parcel of land at Ridge Level Cedars. Now, there is in the new road that they built in the new housing area by Mandeville.
Yes.
Right. Now, I am seeing a serious problem which is affecting me and will affect your budget. Because the road needs maintaining. And I've been for a long, since I bought that piece of land, I've been complaining because it hasn't been drained properly. And the water at the top of the main road above Mr. Shooter, where they have the antenna from, I don't know if it's Lime or whoever.
I know,
all that water.
I know the place. That place need more drains, and they need, of course, more roads inside of the development.
Well, it's not really the road. The road is concrete, and it's a good road.
I know that road too.
Right, and what is happening?
But it's a main road. It doesn't do all the branches.
No, but the water is coming down from at the top road.
Yes.
And it is coming straight into my land. And right now, when I having a serious problem because the last set of rain we have, all the water came down like a river, and it dug up all my produce.
So you need drains.
I need drain, and the water need to control from the top of the land that come down by Mr. Husband, because that's right by the antenna. All the water from the top village is coming straight down, and it's coming right onto my land, coming down at the bottom to our Lady Lewis, and it's really mashing up my land. So
all right. All right, sister.
It needs grading now, so I ask if you can please send a tractor.
I will talk to the people at Bragsa.
Yes, and
all right,
please send a tractor or something and clean it up.
God bless, sister.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Fine.
I think we have another call. Yes. Good night. Welcome to the program.
Hello.
Hi, good night, Prime Minister. Good night, Sam.
Good night.
Seasonal greetings.
Yes.
I have a question, Prime Minister. Is the CAT scan machine at the hospital working? And if not, when it will be up?
It is working.
It
is working. It is working. It's an excellent machine, much better than the last one. You know, the point is this. I told P.S. Dishong, is either yesterday or this morning.
Yesterday, Wednesday.
I told him, I said, you have the C-scan up and running. And you all have made an announcement to the public that it is up and running. When the one was done, you told the persons it's done. But now this one is a new one installed. The technicians have come in. They have trained our people. And it's up and running. Because I was at the hospital on Tuesday. And there's a particular case, and I inquired what was happening to the patient, and they said that he was going to do his CT scan that very afternoon. And I inquired about what is happening. They say, yes, the CT scan is up and running. Okay? All right, then.
Thank you. Thank you very much, caller. There's another call. Good night. Welcome to the program.
Good night. Yes? Yes?
I'm calling from Park here.
Yes?
I'm a banana farmer.
Yes.
I mean, since last year, I sell $110 of banana to win for Mrs. Smith. And I cannot win the pursuit. Prime Minister, I am a poor lady working very hard for farmer.
Let me ask you, what month last year you say?
Yes, Prime Minister. Week 46 and week 48.
Week 46
and 48.
And 48.
Yes, Prime Minister.
In 2013?
Yes, Prime Minister.
All right. You know, I will tell you this. It's a pity that this thing has held you. What happened is this. I had made an announcement in the parliament saying that I don't know how Wind Farm can go and buy people's bananas and don't pay for it. But I put out $750,000. I didn't give them, I put it in the Ministry of Agriculture to take people's bananas up to either week 45 or 46 because that's what they owed. And people are paid and told persons not to go and sell their bananas unless they get cash money from them. But the point is this. Unfortunately, you probably didn't hear me. Well, not everything I say you go hear me. And I spoke to Sabota Caesar and asked him. He told me they have a number of persons who are out to the tune of about $20,000. People who went and sold in week 46 and 48.
And that I alone.
Yeah. This is what he tell me. He say about $20,000. He say his calculation from the figures which his officials gave him. I will talk to him again.
Yes,
and to see what they're doing with this, because this is a relatively small sum of money which we can get. It's big for you, but small in the sense that it is not a sum which is not going to be $100,000 for the number of farmers, because a lot of people had simply stopped selling Wind Farm their bananas.
Yes, that's right.
$110 is how much money they owe you?
Over 1,000 something dollars per minister.
Over 1,000 something plus.
And if I get this person right now, I lift it.
Huh?
If I get this person right now, I lift it for my money.
Yes, I am
upset.
I'm going to talk to Sabota and see if we can make some arrangements to see if you can get your money and other people who are like you. Okay?
God bless.
God bless you.
Thank you, caller. We have another one online. Good night.
Hey, good night.
Good night. Good night.
Prime Minister, I'm not going to ask you, but I'm going to tell you, keep up the good works, and may the good God of heaven continue to direct your path.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I'm calling from South Central Windward.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, caller.
Thank you.
All right, then. Good night. Bye.
We have another caller. Good night.
Hi, good night.
Yes. Welcome to the program.
Yes, thank you. Prime Minister, good night.
Good night, my princess.
And it is nice to have you available to the public to ask and answer questions.
Yes.
I want to say tonight that I want to ask God's blessing on your life.
Thank you.
And also members of cabinet, members of parliament.
Thank you.
Good. I am making a point tonight with regard to two areas. Area number one is that the question of roads. I am just asking, are you quite happy with the state of the roads in St. Vincent and the Grenadines? My reason for asking...
Absolutely not happy.
Okay. My reason for asking is that there are too many potholes in the road.
Yes.
And also the drains are not properly kept.
Particularly the village roads.
Yes.
And of course, I don't know if your job takes you into the feeder roads.
Well, not really, but
okay.
I am exposed to quite a number of areas.
Okay. But the road, for instance, we have done fairly well in rebuilding the road from Sion Hill go right back to Fancy.
Okay, that's all the country road, and that's my area where I travel.
And we have done that.
Yes.
We are now doing between Hospital Road and Leyu, 8 miles.
Okay, I have seen that clearly that we are doing work on the lever then.
But the point is this: the village roads need a lot of attention, and this is why I was saying earlier that one of the legacies of the airport is the equipment and personnel whom we have to help us on a thoroughgoing road repair program for village roads and feeder roads.
Okay, so we can look forward to that futuristically.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
But another thing I must comment on with regard to Road 2 is that I've seen a lot of money spent during this season on roads.
Yes.
And some of the drains are still blocked. They have not been properly cleaned. And in those areas, I think that you have done well to spend so much. But value for money, I must comment that to me, where I sit, or where I stand, where I travel, it is not satisfactory. That's my point number one.
I will say this. In many respects, what you're saying is true. In some, the quality of the work done, and more particularly the supervision, is uneven. It has to do with the road supervisors and those who are under them. The trucks have done a good job of moving the grass and debris.
Some of them, because
but they have
some
not
of the areas are still not cleaned sufficiently.
They have not done well in moving the amount of dirt. And sometimes they clean the dirt, and if a shower rain comes, the dirt goes back into the drain.
Yes.
And,
so in that respect, I think we need to have a little more value.
The question which you raise, I have raised it. I mean, you see, I will tell you this. Here it is. I'm finding the money, the $3.5 million. And between myself and Julian and the road supervisors and the people in Bragsa, we organize the work.
Yes, sir. Yes.
But then people who are doing the work and people who are supervising those doing the work have to ensure that the work is done properly.
Yes, PM, because I see that a lot of effort is being made during this season to have the road work done, but we need to up our game and do a little better job.
Yes.
Because the resources are made available. It is just to do the work properly.
Yes.
That's point number one for me.
Yes.
And point number two, and critically, is that are you satisfied with regard to the level of crime and so on within our small state?
No, I'm not.
Okay, well, PM, I want to comment here. I think that the test of everything is objective at the end of the day. The result that you get is very important. If, for example, we have 40 crimes within St. Vincent, 40 homicides within St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and there have not been, let's say, arrests made for like 30 or interrogation or suspect or whatever, I find, in my opinion, it is not sufficient. I would want to ask a question tonight of the police. How many unsolved murders are there within our country?
I share your concern. The murders which are committed, what you may call absence of restraint murders, family members fighting, boyfriend, girlfriend, two people in a shop arguing, those are the fairly easy ones because you catch the person then and there.
Yes.
The more difficult ones, and sometimes we take a longer period to solve them, the more difficult ones are those which are carried out, as we have had several this year, by people who fighting over a shipment of cocaine. and then I wouldn't call them gangs, but groups, interested groups on one side or the other. Greed. And they're going at each other, and the police would know broadly who these persons are. It may well be that one or two persons who committed murders themselves had been killed subsequently by persons from another group.
Yeah, but PM, we need to feel safe.
Yes.
We need to feel safe.
I'm saying that. Now, one of the things, there are several things which we have done. We have put more police boots on the ground. We have put more investment in training of the police.
Yes, PM.
I have provided, over in the last 3 months alone, I gave the police 8 brand new double cab vehicles, cost over $800,000 to facilitate the people in the RRU and those in the criminal investigation department.
How many did you give, for example, to police stations for us not to hear the excuse that there are no transportation available?
That is something which is very bad. There's no policeman who can tell anybody, and I've made this point to the commission, and the commission has made it. And I want to say to the police who are there, no policeman can say that no vehicle is available to come to investigate a matter. Because,
and why is it being said so?
Because there are several police who are behaving like civil servants. If they don't want, they come behind you, they want to get a job in the police force, and they simply want to do a desk job. You take, for instance, if you go to a village, if you go to an area, if you go to Connery, and a vehicle is out, somebody calls and says, well, there's an offense in South Rivers alleged to have been committed. If the policeman can't just simply say there's no vehicle, because the vehicle which is there might have been out on something, to find out where that vehicle is. Because everybody has a cell phone, call them. Or I can call Georgetown to see what I can happen to the Georgetown vehicle. I mean, it is as though it is a standard answer which is entirely unacceptable.
Yes, but it is a prevalent answer.
Yes, but the point about it is this. You and I'm glad you talk about it, so that I can talk about it on the radio to tell you that I speak about it to the police all the time. I speak about it to the commission and the other ranks and tell them that they have to get them to stop this. And those who are doing that, let them become civil servants if they want a desk job. But that's not what policing is.
Well, yes, it is unsatisfactory. And I want to go on further to make another point.
Yes.
There is a particular area in St. Vincent right now.
Yes.
And I happen to have a home in one of those areas.
Yes.
Incidentally, I'm not in that area 24/7 because I reside in more than one area. I know for a fact that there are persons who go around, thieves or criminals who go around and break into houses.
Yes.
And those especially headed by women.
Yes.
I remember recently I heard there was a rape in an area, and the female who got raped.
In the Prospect Brighton area?
No.
Oh.
Mount Pleasant Crossroads.
Okay.
I understood that the person had to beg the thieves or the criminals not to rape the young daughter, but the mother, who was the head of the household, got raped. Now, PM, within that area, I can name so many persons who have got hit, who they broke into their houses, and there is this profiling of this tall person and this short person who are masked,
yes,
who go into households that are headed by females, and they commit their crimes.
Yes.
I could tell you as recent as Tuesday night, in my case, one of my family members was affected, wherein they entered a home and they stole what they had to steal, everything including like flat screen TV and pots and shoes and all sort of other gadgets, cell phones and whatever, and call the police. Sometimes a statement is being taken, other times there are no statements and no investigation and no body is brought to justice. People need to feel safe.
I agree with you.
Because they might be targeting certain women households and they might be shocked that one of these days something is going to happen. I do not understand why, and especially around this time, thieving criminality is on the increase. When you have sacrificed and you have gotten what you have, it is very hard just to watch persons just come and take it away, and at the end of the day, no one is brought to justice. It seems as though it is the norm now that crimes are being committed and no one is held accountable.
Yes.
I too have had an experience in my workplace where they had umpteen break-ins and things were taken away on a regular basis, and nothing was done. No one was brought to justice. Another area that I'm very concerned about in this modern day and age, fingerprints are not being taken. Nobody is pulling fingerprints. The police is not pulling fingerprints to catch persons being brought to justice. I have traveled recently to North America, and the first thing I have encountered is that my fingers had to be on this machine, your thumb, this 4 fingers and whatever, and all of that. The more we are advancing in the world, it seems as though in certain areas in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, it is a retrograde step. I do not understand what is happening where crime is concerned in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We are not feeling safe. And perception, in a sense, is reality. If you don't perceive that you are safe, it means that you can never feel safe, because that's your feeling and you can't change the way you feel. It is because of what is happening. I am calling on the police in St. Vincent and the Grenadines to be diligent and do their work properly. If they do not want to work, resign their position and do other things, because we can make a living otherwise. But policing is a very serious role. It is to protect and to serve, and we as Vincentians need to feel that way, that the police is protecting and serving us. We need to feel safe. PM, I know the government can't do everything.
What you're saying there, I agree with everything what you're saying. The two other hotspot areas in terms of crime, the Fountain area, we have just put a police post there, and also up in Glen.
Yes.
And we have been doing a lot of patrols and a lot of searches of houses, trying to catch. And you quite rightly spoke about 2 persons. And in that particular area, it goes up to Mount Pleasant, but it goes Prospect, Brighton, Diamond, that's that area.
Well, I don't know. I haven't heard that there are extra patrols in these areas. I haven't heard about it.
Yes, they are. They are taking place.
Well, maybe it can be so, but I haven't heard.
Yes, they are taking place.
But I know for a fact that Tuesday night, a family member of mine was impacted because that happened. And praise God, no injury to human.
Yes.
There was no injury to human. It is just that the breaking, entering, and the stealing of items.
Yes.
I want to ask God's blessings on your life.
Thank you very much.
It's a very difficult job.
Thank you very much.
But I just want to, because we pray for you all the time. My family hold you up in prayer, and
all
members.
Very much. I appreciate.
And the word of God says, blessed is the nation whose God is the Lord.
Yes.
And I wish that all persons in authority can take that to know that we are a nation, and if we serve God, that we will be blessed. So I want to ask God's blessing on your life. Thank you very much.
Thanks for your call.
Thank you very much, caller. We do have another call online. Good night. Welcome to the program.
Good night. Season greetings, comrade.
Good night.
Comrade, there's an article in the November midweek Sourcelight dated the 25th, back page, concerning the closure of the Caribbean HIV and AIDS Alliance.
The closure of what?
Yes?
What? Closure of what?
The closure of the Caribbean HIV and AIDS Alliance.
Closure of
the Caribbean HIV and AIDS
Alliance. Caribbean HIV and AIDS Alliance.
Yeah, I'd like you to look into it urgently, please.
Okay, then.
Thank you, comrade. All the best.
Okay, thank you, caller. We have another one. Good night and welcome to the program.
Good night, comrade.
Good night.
All right, just let me take off my radio, please.
Yes,
all right, comrade. Comrade, I'm here. I'm a diabetic, okay? I'm here listening to you, right?
Yes.
And I am on one leg. Well, 1.5 so far. For 2.5 years now. But thanks to God, I'm still coping with it. And after doing therapy with it, okay?
Yes.
The doctor told me I can get a leg. He asked me if I wish to get a leg. I said, sure, because I'll be able to move around.
Yes.
He told me I have to get $2,000 US. And comrade, at this situation, I don't have it.
Wait. That they told you that in the private office, not at the hospital?
Yes, at the hospital. I don't have money to go private, comrade, at the hospital. Comrade, you make me down there, you know.
$2,000 US?
$2,000 US.
Well, I got check on this.
And I sat some morning ago and listened to Miss Oliver with the same price. She said it ranges between 2,000 and I think it's 3,000 US to get a leg.
All right.
And comrade, I like to walk again.
Okay.
And I'm here, you know, sometimes I alone at home and have to move about. And comrade, sometimes I fail.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. I will follow up on this. Where you live in?
I'm living at Greg's.
All right, then.
Yes, I'm on 1.5 leg. And, you know, I don't look comrade, I don't know.
I will check out. I will check out on this for you. And do you want? I will find out about this, and I want to know specifically who you are, but I don't want you to give your name here and everything like that. I
think the office, if she calls and give the girls.
I will find out. If you call this number for me and give one of the ladies who answer the phone, you have a piece of pencil or pen next door to you?
No, comrade.
You don't have that next to you?
No, comrade.
All right. Well, you want to give me your number?
Yes, I can.
Okay, give me.
432.
432.
90.
90.
0. 6.
Okay, then. All right, then.
All right, comrade. You have a spirit-filled season, all right?
You too.
Thank you, caller.
Thank you. All right.
Okay. We have another caller. Good night.
Hello, good night.
Hello, good evening.
Good afternoon.
Yes?
Prime Minister, how are you?
I'm fine.
And I want to give you personally my condolences on the passing of your wonderful friend.
Yes, my brother.
Everything. Anyway, you were supposed to call me.
Yes, and the matter, you wrote me on something, and I'm trying to organize it.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking to the relevant people.
Okay.
All right, then.
Yeah, okay. Have a blessed night, and get home safe.
All right.
Okay, then. All right.
Thank you. We have another call. We seem to have lost that one, but another one is in. Good night. Welcome to the program.
Good night.
Hello?
Hello, yes. I tried to get through last week.
Yes.
Yes. I have a question.
Tell me.
And I will listen to you.
Yes.
How much money does the government owe the private sector? And how does the government intend to raise the money to pay the private sector? Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
The indebtedness to the private sector, the local private sector, would be a number 6 million, 8 million. One of the ways in which we have to, as the IMF and ourselves discussed, is to have an exchange of checks. People who owe us, and we owe them, to exchange the checks. The sad truth is that taxpayers owe the government over $200 million. Some of the persons whom the government owes, the government does not, some of them don't owe the government. But we seek to pay all our debts, and at any time we will owe a certain amount of money. There are occasions when there are problems in settling particular indebtedness which have nothing to do with money, but having to do with a series of procedural issues. Some of them will arise from contracts and the like. So that is how I would answer you. But we, the government, this government is always on an ongoing basis paying our debts.
Thank you. Another call on line. Hello, good night.
Yes.
Hello, good night. You're on air.
Yeah, good night.
Good night.
Good night, boss.
Good night.
Yeah, boss.
Hey, man, tell me.
Yeah, you hearing me, boss?
I'm hearing you.
Yeah, boss, look, I don't want to be rude.
Yes.
Yeah, no, boss. I want to say good night.
Good night.
St. Vincent, the Grenadines, and the wider world. Right? No, boss, I don't want to be rude. But, right?
Go ahead, comrade.
I don't want to be rude. What I'm saying, boss, is that the lady that came on just now, that was speaking, I wanted she to know, or I want to find out if it's only St. Vincent alone crime keeping in the world, boss.
Well, I don't think that's the point she was making.
No, but boss, yeah.
I think what she was saying, and she was directing her comments really to whether the police themselves were being efficient in fighting crime, and was wondering ways and means in which they can improve their situation. And she was having a heartfelt, she was letting out her heart to say, listen, she needs to feel safe. And I think that those are not unreasonable points.
All right, boss.
But at the same time, you say that there's crime everywhere, but that doesn't help somebody if they're in an area where they see a number of break-ins and the police, for one reason or the other, not responded as well as they think that they should respond. And I think she's right to talk about it.
All right, thank you, caller.
Okay, comrade.
Boss?
Yes?
What I really want to call it that, to tell you now.
Yes.
It's really about this statement on Facebook.
Which one? Which one? The one about the tsunami?
Yeah, boss. I hear you make no comment about that.
I spoke about it earlier, just as I came on.
I just tuned in.
Yes, I spoke about it.
Yes, it was at the beginning of the program,
I
Rash.
spoke about it at the beginning.
Oh, sorry, boss. I didn't realize.
No, that's all right. But these people are completely off target.
Boss, these people want to be banned from the country, boss. Let us stay outside and look in.
Man, I tell you. They don't have any interest in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. They don't
After
have
all,
any.
boss.
They
After
don't
all,
have
they
any
do it love
interest.
the little children.
They don't have interest in St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
All right. Thank you.
All right, comrade.
We have another caller. Let's take this one. Good night. You're on the program.
Good night, sir.
Yes.
Good night.
Yes. I would like to ask the Prime Minister a question.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes, my brother.
Good night, sir.
Good night.
Good night, Prime Minister.
Good night, my brother.
Yes, sir. I have a little tickle question to ask you, sir.
Sure.
You're doing a very good job in the country. Yes. Yeah, hello?
Yes, I'm here. Go ahead.
Caller, if I could ask you, don't listen to whatever device you're listening the program on.
Uh-huh.
Listen to your telephone and just speak.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Okay then, sir.
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, sir. Mr. Prime Minister.
Yes.
Yes, we have. I have a house down in Brighton where they're extracting the sand from where Braska is doing the sand, and I will really like to know if you can help us to get this road really fixed, because most of the people that live in there is say middle income people, and it's very difficult for us to really drive our vehicles on the road every day, and the trucks are driving there and just mashing up the road every day, and you know it's really hard on these people who are living down there, and you know, and we really need a help.
All right then.
Thank you.
I make a note. Thank you.
You're welcome, sir.
God
Thank
bless.
you, caller. We do have another caller on line. Good night. Welcome to the program.
Hello, good night. Hello.
Hi, good night.
Good night. Good night, my princess.
Good night, Mr. Prime Minister.
Yes.
I would like to ask you. Good night.
Yes.
I would like to ask you, why is it that persons with amputated limbs have to wait on a doctor from overseas to come to St. Vincent to take measurement for a prosthetic leg?
I will have to find the answer for you and speak about it.
Because my mom got her leg amputated in May of this year, and I think that the price that they're charging is really too high.
Yes. How much they charging?
Well, they told my mom between $2,000 to $3,000 US dollars.
Oh Lord, that's what a lady just from Greg's just call about. I will you know, this is last week we had a lot of discussion with a lady about the frequency with which, and she was wondering whether some doctors are not just too eager to cut off people's legs. I know the problems which arise, and then there's a follow-up problem to that. That is the question of the cause of the as we used to say in the old days, the false leg them. Remember,
yeah.
You know. But we need to address this. Of course, at the root of this is the problem of diabetes, but we have to address the whole thing in a composite manner and see what we can do here. This is
another question.
This is a
what is the procedure to get in a meeting with you? Because I've made 3 appointments already, and I came to your office last week, Thursday or Wednesday, I think.
Okay. Now,
I don't know if you remember seeing me in the room when you asked me what I was there for, and I told you I came to see you.
Yes. Well, over the last couple of weeks, because I was preparing my estimates, it was a difficult period. There's usually a lot of meetings with the public servants and other people, you know, all day into the evening. What I can do, would you like to give me your telephone number?
Sure, no problem.
Sure.
430
Yes.
28
Yes.
14.
And I want to give you the number at my office, 456 1703.
Okay.
You ask either for Angie or Ruthann. One of them will answer. And if you hear male voice answer, it means that one of the security officers is just temporarily filling in for them. They may have gone in one officer or the other and ask for Angie or Rutan.
Okay.
And tell them that you had called about this matter. But I will get back to you and we will talk more.
All right, thank you.
God bless you.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you very much, caller. We have about 10 minutes left, Prime Minister. I don't know if you will continue taking calls, more coming, or if you...
Yes, no,
we'll take the calls. Okay, so let's go to the lines. Okay, we'll take... there was one question that I had coming via text asking about the functioning of the Public Accounts Committee. I don't know if you could give us some answer on that generally.
Unfortunately, the Public Accounts Committee is not functioning, and it's not functioning because the leader of the opposition has been very delinquent in calling the Public Accounts Committee. The Public Accounts Committee is chaired by the leader of the opposition and includes members from the government and members from the opposition. And the purpose of the Public Accounts Committee is to examine the report of the Director of Audit. That's the central purpose, and that those reports contain the commentaries by the Director of Audit on the government's accounts. And you can have the Director of Audit there. She's always there to answer questions. Or you can ask other persons to come, the Director General of Finance and Planning, the Accountant General, relevant officials. And he just has not been doing his work. And this is why I make the point to him that if you're not doing the work for which you're currently elected to do, and this is an important part of your work, why do you think that people will give you a job higher when the one which is lower, you're not doing it well? And that question still remains, and he has not been able to answer that. You see, it's one thing to just go on the radio on a Monday and talk and follow the internet crazies. It's another thing to address the serious matters of governance. They haven't been doing that. The opposition hasn't been doing that. I just want to say, Hans, I know we're winding up close to 10 o'clock, that on next week we are going to see a further decrease in the price of gasoline.
Yes.
This would be the third one since the prices started to come down. I want to say this. I want to explain how we address this matter. And I had put the proposal to the Monetary Council, and the Monetary Council has agreed. The Monetary Council agreed. And what we do, we have a 3-month rolling average every month, so that in the month of November, we consider what is the average for the month of November, October, September. So when you look at the rolling, the average for those, the rolling 3-month average, we then, in that third month, that is to say in November, in November, just at the end of November, the price either goes up or down depending on how the movements in the prices from the Caribbean mean posting, which is connected not in a one-to-one relationship with the Brent crude international prices, but have clearly a connection. Then the next rolling 3-month average would be December, November, October. And then in the month of January, we will see whether the price will come down again. So it's every month we review it.
Yes.
And in the month of January, we will look at
October, November, December.
We look at January. At the end of January.
At the end of January.
We look at January, December, November.
Yes.
So that is how the rolling 3-month average comes. And the reason why we do it like that, you rule out spikes and troughs, high jumps or dips, so that you can get over the whole period, the increase which would the decrease which would be reasonable in all the circumstances, and that the increase will not be too high because you try to level out the spikes.
Yeah. If I may, Prime Minister, just to give the specific, this third one would bring the reduction of the last 3 months to $1.47. You had one reduction of 40 cents, one of 46 cents, and this coming one. And the VINLEC also announced tonight that their fuel surcharge will be the lowest since 2011 for the December bill, 40.65 cents.
Well, you remember just over a month ago when we opened the facility down at the solar facility down at VINLEC at Lomans, I said that I expect that the price of
the fuel
surcharge will go below 50%. Well, it has gone 50 cents.
50 cents.
It has gone now to 40. People will see a significant reduction
yes,
in their electricity bills. The price next week would be $13.81 a gallon
for gasoline.
For gasoline, moving from $14.42.
Yes. Good news indeed, I'm sure, for motorists and, of course, users of electricity. All right, we just have about 3 more minutes. I think we...
I just want to indicate that the work on the houses at Green Hill, which are to be completed, I've made sure that some resources have been made available through the HLDC, through a particular arrangement. That Bragsa is doing the corrective work down at Clay Valley.
Yes.
And on the 18th of December, I received information today that the boat from Tankwell will come with the $5.3 million worth of materials, building materials. We are continuing the payment of persons who for lands out at Argyle, and we still owe some monies there, and we will pay more in January because some of them we have had to be negotiating with people still. This relating not the built property owners. There are only 4 built property owners of the 139 which remain to be paid, and there are issues with those, I've been advised. And in relation to the others, the work is ongoing. I read a very interesting article on the citizenship program, which was published by the Caribbean Council by David Jessup, The View from Europe, where he's saying that the economic citizenship programs, the worldwide, like those in several countries in the Caribbean, are coming under increasing threat. In relation to the Lime Flow merger, Minister of Information Technology Camilo went to St. Lucia for the Council of Ministers. He's off to Taiwan, and I've been receiving a report, and plus, of course, a formal legal opinion from the Honorable Attorney General, and we are continuing to address that. In relation to the Beckway Hospital, which some people have been asking about, it's 80% complete. They have had some problems there with the contractor, and the January 24th is 2015 is now the targeted date. In relation to people who normally ask about the amount of the amount of money in construction for the year 2013, for instance, it's $145 million. the growth was 7.7% in that regard. I want to ask persons to listen out for when I speak on the matter of the Tobago Keys, where there was a protest by some people about the use of moorings, private moorings they put down. And I want to say that the Tobago Keys management, they have given me a full report, and don't believe one side of the story which you read in the newspaper. This is all I have to say to you, that when I speak about this thing, you will hear the full truth. The matter of there's another matter which I wanted to mention in relation to geothermal. By June next year, we should be getting the full plan, the full business plan from our partners, Emera, Reykjavik Geothermal, and I'm very hopeful that by the end of 2017, early 2018, the latest, that we'll have geothermal energy in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I think we have covered a lot of issues tonight.
Yes,
we have had
about 20 or so.
We have had about 20 or so
from
questions.
the public, and of course the questions you would have, the issues you would have dealt with before.
Yes. And you know, the people who raise the questions, you take for instance our dear sister who raised the questions about the limitations of the police as she saw in relation to fighting crime. She raised this matter in such a rational, non-emotional way, and not casting blame on anybody, but seeing how we can solve this particular problem. Clearly a mature woman. The issue of roads has come up, and of course there are some very specific problems. The brother who called about the reduction of indigence, I think he wanted to do a test to see if we had in fact done what we have done. But you can't argue with the facts, what the people, what the reports have presented. Yes. You know, it doesn't matter how you contort it. And I think we had a good evening, and as always, the general public are providing us with questions more searching than those asked by the opposition in Parliament. The second program has again justified the reason why we call it Parliamentary Question Time. Ask the Prime Minister. And I thank the operator, and I thank Hans, and thank the listeners and those who ask questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Prime Minister. This has been another edition of Parliamentary Question Time. Ask the Prime Minister, right here on NBC Radio, and carried as well, I believe, on Star Radio 98.3 and 104.7. It was a pleasure being with you for this another occasion. Good night.